Hal here, and I just want to take a minute to talk a little bit about Onyx. Been using it now for about a year, deer hunting, moose hunting, turkey hunting, all of that, and really come to really like it. I like the satellite imagery mainly because I can locate hidden fields, for turkey hunting, the bogs for moose hunting. You can tell the different stage of cuts up here in the big woods for deer, whether it's clear cuts, select cuts, see the skid roads, and it's really a big help I found coming out at night. It's can really tell you like the easiest way to get out, if you got a couple miles, a couple hours to walk out. And so anyways, got the app on my phone, got the chip in my GPS, and I'm good to go. So not only that, it's used by 4,600 game wardens across the country, which is pretty incredible, and Bureau of Land Management, Forest Service, wildlife biologists, and all that. They all use it, so I guess it's something you ought to be using too. So anyways, go to onx.com and you punch in the promo code BWB, and you're going to get a 20% discount. Good hunting.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights into the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, and I'm sitting over here in Rangeley again because we can't get Lee to drive over to Jackman. So sitting here with Lee Libby in his office and Joe Cruzy.
Hello.
Lee doesn't want to say anything.
Howdy. Well, it wasn't really an introduction. It was just, I'm here again.
He was taking a shot at you right off the bat is what
What
it
he
was.
didn't tell you is we're going to have a wicked good lunch at Sarge's.
All right.
Joe's favorite spot. One of his favorite spots.
I do like Sarge's, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that
Yeah.
free
Sounds
plug.
good.
Who's with us, Hal?
Who's with us?
Yeah.
I'm with you. So, you know what they got for specials today?
No, I don't.
Guess we can't think about that right now. So anyways, today on the last podcast, we had High Peaks Alliance and the Backcountry Hunters. And this time we've got a forester for Seven Islands Timberlands, and he wants to talk a little bit about what they've been doing to conserve land and stuff too, because I think some people maybe listening maybe got the perspective that the only way to conserve land is to buy it up and get it away from timber companies or whatever, and that's not really the whole story. So we're going to hear not so much an opposing point of view, it's just a different point of view from a landowner representative. So Nate's on here to talk about that, and he's also a Rangeley resident, and so welcome.
Hey, thanks, Al. Glad to be here. So I work for Seven Islands Land Company. I'm a forester for them here in the Rangeley district. So Seven Islands, we've got we manage for the heirs of David Pingree. It's been the family ownership since the mid-1800s. Just over 800,000 acres statewide right now.
It's a lot of land.
It is. We've got 4 different management districts and an office out of Bangor. So we've got 180,000 acres here in Rangeley, and then the remaining balance is up in northern Maine, out of Ashland and around that country.
Yeah, there's a whole place named after Seven Islands up on the St. Johns River, huh?
Yeah, and what I understand is the name comes from the islands that are up there, some of the major islands in the rivers. So,
Yep.
That's a fun fact.
I saw those islands on my moose hunt back in 13 there. I had the bright idea of floating the river there, but that didn't last long. Once I couldn't hear nothing on the river. All you hear is the water running. You couldn't hear a moose that was 10 feet from you.
Yeah, that'd make it a little hard.
Yeah. So,
Lee is laughing. He's going to make some comment about my hearing.
yeah.
No. But no, so just a quick point is from a person that spends a lot of time on Seven Islands land, I think they do a phenomenal job at the way they harvest timber, and it's kind of the way I grew up. We selectively harvest wood and left a lot of regen, and Seven Islands kind of follows that model from what I've seen in the Rangeley area anyway. So
Yeah, we try to manage for natural systems, whether it's thinnings or low density overstories. We try to mimic natural patterns of mortality in everything that we do in the harvesting. So one of the things about the land base, Hal touched on it, is the Pingree ownership. Back in 2001, the family sold a conservation easement to the New England Forestry Foundation, and that conserved, I get the number here, 754,673 acres statewide. So almost 80% of the ownership is in conservation easement, which maintains timber management rights and also allows for public access. So here in Rangeley, and I don't know of anywhere else up in northern Maine on the ownership, there's no trespassing signs. You can go hunt anywhere you want, fishing, traditional, recreational access.
So with that number, that's in addition to the 800,000?
No, that's on the 800,000.
Okay.
So that's
That makes it the 80-something
yeah,
percent.
80%
right?
of the land base is
Gotcha.
in a conservation easement. So
Gotcha.
that's the development rights.
All right.
There won't be house lots. It's going to be maintained as forest.
I bet you that's a higher percentage in any landowner, really.
Yeah, I don't know what it ranks
Yeah.
globally or nationally for
You know what?
conservation easements.
that brings up something. You say the word development. I think a lot of people are worried about the development of forest lands. From a person who has developed tracts of land in the past, for me to go to the end of, let's say, Portage Brook Road,
Which is on Seven Islands.
which is on Seven Islands.
We're going to have to put crosswalks there this fall. So
You're
nobody
welcome.
gets run over.
No, but for a person like myself or another developer to go out and purchase a piece of land that's too far from an urban area and develop it makes absolutely no sense. It's not going to happen. It's not feasible. You see what I'm saying? So the fear of development, urban sprawl, yes. But the fear of development for large tracts of lands like the Allagash or any place like that is just, I don't foresee it in my lifetime or anybody's lifetime, really.
Yeah, that's a good point. We also manage for a couple external clients here in Rangeley, and one of them is the Rangeley Lakes Heritage Trust. They've got 4,400 acres that they own, fee ownership, which is in conservation easement, and that's right in and around Rangeley. There's a couple blocks right here in town that are conserved permanently.
Well, I think, you started off by saying how long it went back to the 1800s, and that makes the difference because obviously Seven Islands is a long-term vision.
Yeah, they have a long vision. They're in the 8th generation now. The 8th generation was just born recently.
That's cool.
That's pretty amazing that it has stayed together that long. Usually after a few generations, things like that dissolve, and unless it's it's set up that it can't.
Yeah,
ahead of time.
they have a long-term family ownership vision for the land base.
Yep.
So
Great.
Good.
Yeah. So in comparison, Seven Islands must be one of the larger landowners in the state, right? Close to the top.
4th largest landowner in the state, and I believe it's the 11th largest nationally.
Wow. Impressive. We killed a few moose up on Seven Islands land, huh, Al?
The neat thing about
few.
and to go back to another thing in our last podcast was talked about absentee landowners. And there are, I don't know the definition of an absentee landowner. I guess if you're an investment group and you buy land, you still have to have a management group. And most of those management groups, like Seven Islands, are local based. Because when I have to deal with trails and maintenance and access, I contact the local land management companies, which are mostly all familiar with what we're doing in our trail systems. I've never called the landowner and had somebody say, or a land management company, and have them say, I know nothing about what you're talking about. They're all very in tune with the land that they manage. So, yeah, an investment group might be, in a sense, an absentee landowner, but there's somebody managing that land that's local. So it's not completely just willy-nilly. And the good thing about having local, I feel the good thing about having local management groups take care of the, in a sense, absentee landowners is they're in tune with what the community needs. So if I lose a snowmobile trail in one area and I call Nate and say, hey, listen, I just lost this trail. Can you help me figure out a bypass? He puts the feelers out to the other foresters, and within a day or so, I have a solution of some sorts. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's important. I mean, we deal with the same thing over where we are, and it's still is locally managed, but there are a few instances not with. So we deal with three majors over there. It's Weyerhaeuser, AFM, and then Wagner, and as far as the management goes. And like anything else, some are better than others, and some have foresters that are local and some are coming from Canada, and you see a difference. Right. You know, you see a difference when it's someone who's grown up in the area and who used all that land, the snowmobile trails and everyone, as opposed to someone who really doesn't have an interest in it, and they're just going to do what they got to do. And
I think that's one of the challenges with forestry, you know, where we're out here in rural Maine, and you know, you get somebody who comes out of college who may be from Portland or wherever, another state, and then they move to Rangeley or Jackman, and then all of a sudden, you know, 3 or 4 years later, like, geez, I kind of miss some other aspects. You know, when you get somebody from that town who goes off to forestry school, comes back, you know, up in your neck of the woods, you've got Tom up there. Yeah. So, and I mean, my coworker reminds me I'll never be from Rangeley. I might get my mail here, but so, you know, he was born and raised, but you know, I've been here coming to Rangeley. My family's had a camp here since I was 5, so it's, you know, near and dear to my heart. So
yeah, I'm the same situation over there.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's so many in Maine, like we have the big landowners that we use the land, then we have for instance, when we drove home, Hal and I went through the woods going back the other day. Didn't know it at the time, but we're talking about all this land that we're driving through. Well, that was a piece that Nature Conservancy just bought, the 9,000 acres, and you know, everyone's got their opinion on it. I have mixed feelings on situations like that because it is open to hunting and fishing, but will it be open if someone wants to ride their snowmobile through it, or you know? So, hooray! There's a piece of land that's now bought and quote unquote protected, but you know, will it stay open? Can we ride our snowmobiles on it?
And that's one of the things with the Pingree Conservation Easement is they wanted to ensure that there was some level of recreational access to the land base. It doesn't completely say, you know, there will always be access, because that might shift around with timber harvest operations, and you know that you can go out there and hunt on any acre you want. There may be a gate, you can walk into it. There's no trespassing signs. You know, the only thing that would be limited is you can't go, you know, shoot a 30-06 in a timber harvest when there's people working trying to make a living. You know, but those are pretty limited in the fall,
right?
And you know, and they'll shift around.
Yeah. So I guess the other point is you know, we talked about like the Pingrees, they've had the land since the 1800s, and then you got you know, of course, Great Northern was the biggest landowner at one time, and their land has got broken up quite a bit over the years. And what's happening, I see, everybody knows, well, everybody doesn't know really, but a lot of this gets in investment groups, and it's on like really on 10-year plans. So their plan has been to get their investment out of it, and that's the only thing they look at, right? They're not looking so much at how the wood's cut. They want whatever return on investment, and then in 10 years they're going to sell the land. I think that's what's caused a lot of the real, well, I call it problems, but overcutting on land, because there's only so much to cut in a period of time, right?
Yeah. I mean, trees there in Maine, they're fairly slow growing. And I think that's what Lee was touching on with the absentee landowner thing, where you've got somebody who just owns it essentially a stock in a land base and an investment trust, whereas this is family ownership. They're real people. I mean, not that stockholders aren't real people, but, I saw one the other day and I was talking to him, having a conversation, lives down in southern Maine, comes up, goes to the family camp out on Kennebago Lake. You can touch base with them. They see it, they interact with you, and, it's a unique situation that we have.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that part of it does make a difference. But you actually have the owners that are using the land.
They come
to
out, they'll go
recreate
bird
on.
hunting, they'll snowmobile in the area.
But it still comes back to you can't tell any landowner what they can or can't do with their land. And I have a stupid case scenario where you may not agree with the cutting ethics of some, but at the same time, you wouldn't want somebody to come into your yard and tell you that you couldn't cut a pine tree that was leaking sap onto your Ferrari.
Nope.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So I don't know if we can change the harvest. I mean, I think that's a touchy subject, because if you tried to tell all landowners that they had to manage their land like Seven Islands does, I think there would be an issue with that.
I don't think, Yeah, we shouldn't go there in the industry wide.
No.
But some of the things out there in forestry, Seven Islands were dual certified by the Forest Stewardship Council and the SFI, Sustainable Forestry Initiative standards. And most of the large landowners are certified by under those standards. It's their numbers, their inventory numbers show that there's going to be forest into the future. A lot of those standards, especially SFI, they'll help improve the forest products industry through trainings, best management practices. The foresters can go out there and reach out. They can put on trainings and stuff like that. So, I mean, foresters by nature are fairly introverted, and we do a pretty poor job about telling what's out there and the good work we do and we're capable of. And, that's why.
You just want to walk in the woods and be left alone?
Yeah, kind of.
It's so unique in Maine. Coming from somewhere else, you definitely see the difference. If you grow up here, it's just the way it's always been. So, saying that people take it for granted might be a bit strong, but the relationship that we have is special, and the fact that we can deal, like in Lee and I's situation, dealing with so many different landowners. I don't know. You probably don't have as many to deal with. Probably just Nate.
No, we got 144.
Or 144 other people. Yeah, you have a lot of the private individuals where we don't have that.
Yeah.
But, even though we might disagree with this and that here and there, the big picture is that it's vital to the survival of every business in the area.
Oh, and I think that's
landowners.
I think that's what you and I, especially, and I'm sure other people too. But that's what we think. So if Nate calls me and says, "Hey, I'm going to have a logging operation in here, and you got to go somewhere else," then it's not. I'm not mad at Nate and Seven Islands in the forest industry. It's like, all right, who do I know? Where am I going to go? It's not about me. It's about the township. And it's like the same with the forest. It's not, about any one organization or any one group of people. It's about how we make it work for everybody.
Yeah. A recent example of the landowner rights and what's right or wrong is what's going on recently with the corridor cutting across, as a business and landowner up there and everything. I would rather not see the corridor go. I don't want to see the poles going over Coburn Mountain. It's my personal opinion. However, I also look at the side of it that they went through all the hoops they had to go through to get the approval, and then through the referendum, it had the chance of getting turned down, which I would have personally been in favor of. However, I looked at it like, well, what right does anyone have to go get a petition, drive going to stop a project? And that's essentially what the Supreme Court of Maine decided. So there are, I can, even though I'm not in favor of it, I definitely see both sides. And if I was the landowner that wanted to do something as of right, then It's more the process is what's skewed, not the fact that they want to do it.
Right. I think it's about doing what's right. I don't see the benefit of that corridor to the people of Maine.
No, the benefit is the money that they're going to make off of it. So as a private landowner, that's the calculation they made.
Right. But I just don't. I guess
there is no benefit to the people.
Right.
We agree on that.
Right.
That's why no one wants it.
Right. And the other side of it is you're not going to tell me that they're going to put a corridor through the state of Maine and that's going to be it. That's forever. Because that just tells me that there's going to be more wind power, more solar power, and more lines being cut in to that main line.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I don't think if they laid out a 50-year plan of renewable energy and said, this is what we're going to do and this is what it's going to take to do it, they probably would have had a better chance to sell it. It would have been, it's kind of like that shock and awe. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what we're going to do to the landscape over the next 50 years, but this is what it's going to pay you back. Well, give us something. You know what I mean? Like, make the people of Maine want this for a reason. What is it? Look at your power bill and tell me that there's not somebody out there that wouldn't like to see that reduced by $30 a month.
Well, the other side of it too is you said a 50-year plan. How do you plan for 50 years when technology is changing so fast that the wind turbines that might go up there are going to be obsolete in 12?
Yeah.
You know, like there's going to be better storage, whatever it is. But you're seeing, the push to solar and wind and all that is just, it's politics and money, in my opinion.
Do you see what's going on in Farmington? The solar fields going in down there.
No, I haven't seen it.
Huge. Yeah,
They're laying them right beside the road too. No, not even trying to hide them.
Yep.
Laying them right out there. Thanks, Janet.
Well, if you're a farmer and you've had a tough go of it or something, or maybe the money's not good in farming this year, and someone comes to you and says, we're going to pay you X amount to put a bunch of panels in your field.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and that's fine. So in Farmington's case, I would hope, and I don't know, so I'm talking stupidly, but I would hope that power is going to be used locally. You know what I mean? So if the farmer needed the money, perfect. He sells to a solar company. They feed the power to Farmington, save the residents money. Perfect. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Want to hear my peeve?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, it's back to how the woods get cut a lot of times, and I've always thought it still would be the landowner's responsibility to look out for the wildlife on the land, and it doesn't. For a lot of them, it doesn't seem to be the case. Matter of fact, I had one when I crabbed about it one time to a forester. The answer was, we're managing wood, not wildlife, and it really rubbed me the wrong way that no thought or consideration goes in for the wildlife, because we're supposed to be, managing wildlife too. We should do that. But if there's total disregard for the wildlife, and I get it a lot of times, certain, wildlife can get out of hand and create damage too, like, the beavers are plugging up culverts and flooding roads and ruining a lot of trees. I get that. But, and the moose do too. The moose do a lot of damage to, regeneration. But we've lost the deer yards all over the northern part of Maine because of cutting too much,
Yep.
It's...
I think that goes into like most things in life. There's going to be a balance struck, and somebody being on one side saying, well, we're managing for wood, not for wildlife. You can go too far the other way and, find that happy balance,
Yeah.
It goes into like deer yard management. I brought some numbers here. So like here in Rangeley, we've got 1,100 acres in cooperative deer wintering area where it's not zoned by the state, but we voluntarily manage for it. And that's actually one of our only deer yards that has deer in the wintertime. The other ones, there's 2,250 acres in Rangeley that's zoned by LUPC as deer wintering area. They're outside the towns, and it's more of a pass-through yard. The deer will go through it, and then they go to the corn piles in town in the wintertime. There's no deer in those zoned yards in the wintertime to speak of, maybe just a random one or two.
But that's a corridor for them to get there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
town.
corridor, and we manage it as such. And when we go harvest in there, it's very light touch. We've had a cable skidder in there a couple of years ago, just picking up a couple random big fur. That's all done through cooperation with Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. We have a site visit with the wildlife biologist. He goes out, gives us his thoughts. We reach an agreement on it.
And I think that actually benefits the deer because it's creating some new regeneration for feed. You can't have it all one way. You can't just say you can never cut this deer yard because all of a sudden there's no food left in it anyway.
Yeah, right. And then one of the things too is we all know the spruce budworm came through and pretty much wreaked havoc on all that old mature fur in there. So it fell out of deer wintering habitat back in the 80s.
Right.
So it's one of those things you manage it.
The other part of that too.
Goals.
I'm sorry. Going back to being a local forester and you hunt this area, you're going to look at it differently. I mean, you're obviously going to you're going to think about the deer yards more than a guy that either doesn't hunt or not from the area or whatever.
There's 4 foresters here in Rangeley, and we all deer hunt.
Yeah.
Who work for Seven Islands.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yep.
That's what you want to hear is the guys that are out there managing actually have a vested interest in it.
Right. Well, I think that's the nature of hunters in general, aren't we? Most of us are pretty conservative-minded people.
Yeah.
Whether it comes to the way we live or the way we hunt or manage or.
What's those other figures you got there, Nate? I want to get your whole list in.
My whole list, yeah. Okay, so I just put the entire ownership. So there's 57,700 acres of Pingree ownership that's in the cooperative deer wintering area habitat, meaning we manage for that conforming cover, secondary and primary winter shelter. So that's all just the softwood crown closure numbers. And then also there's another 22,000 acres in LUPC zoned deer wintering habitat.
So what other big...
wait a minute now. People are going to wonder what LUPC zoned is.
That's Land Use Planning Commission. That's the LURC.
Yep.
LURC was renamed as LUPC.
Yeah.
So
there's still a piece to deal with.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so
that's good.
Nate, you must know other landowners that have tons of land that are in conservation easements.
As far as large,
like large
industrial size landowners, or
no?
I mean, I'm not. You keep looking at me. Where are you going with this?
You're the smartest guy I know.
He's the smartest guy. Okay. There is all throughout the state.
Right.
There's a ton. Land trusts would be one of the most visible out there.
Right.
Where they own land. It's in conservation. If you go to the Maine office of GIS, you can download a layer for Google Earth. It'll show you where all the conserved land is statewide.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
So that's on Google Earth.
Yep.
And what was it we're looking for?
Maine office of GIS.
Maine office of GIS.
Yep.
I think one of the good parts is looking at all the land ownerships is that everyone kind of has the common message is, no, we want to be a good landowner. We want to keep it open. We want to, and that's kind of the message that most big landowners in the state are given. There's very few of them that are, putting up the signs and saying stay out,
right?
Which happens in a lot of places. Watching,
it's one of those things. If you're a large landowner, cutting and selling timber, how do you go around policing that? To go legally posted as no trespassing when you've got hundreds of miles of boundaries you'd have to mark. It's one of those things that's like
right.
No, but I guess I'm just speaking to the general idea of it's kind of a main thing, that the land is here for everyone. Watching the show Yellowstone and seeing out west, and I know there's a ton of public land out west, but the land that is, at least in the case of the big cattle ranchers, it's very territorial.
Yep.
And
when I was down in North Carolina, one of my friends asked me, he goes, "Hey, you want to go in on a bobwhite quail lease?" I was like, "Oh, that seems interesting. How much is it?" He's like, "Oh, it's 10 acres and it's $10,000 to shoot bobwhite quail." I was like, "I'll pass on that."
You didn't jump on it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's just the way it is in the South.
Yeah.
I mean, everything everyone's question is, oh, are you on a lease, or what lease are you on? Or, it's just.
Yeah.
I went to Wisconsin in 2004 on a bow hunt, self-guided bow hunt, and realized that public land was the only way unless you had permission. And literally, you'd be driving down some of these back roads, and there'd be, 200-inch bucks standing in the middle of these fields. And you'd stop and ask the farmer, hey, can I hunt that patch of woods you got back there? And he'd be like, no, that's all leased. Are you part of the lease? And I'm like, no, it's all leased. 9 out of 10 of them.
Yep.
And then the 10th one just ran you off anyways. But yeah, so it's public land, and that's an absolute shit show because there's no, they almost put the tree stand right next to you to try and push you out. So if you're looking one way, they'll set it up behind you looking the other. And that's literally public land hunting in Wisconsin near the Horicon area where I was. So yeah, it was eye-opening then.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the same model, but it's similar in southern Maine where you go down there, everything's so parcelized. When you guys had Nate Bieber on talking about how they can't reach their management objectives in southern Maine, because everything's either posted or they don't know who the landowner is. And
Right.
So,
Well, we really don't know how lucky we have it, having all the open land up here, because most states don't have it. People are always asking, well, if they inquire about a deer hunt or something, they always say, oh, how much land do you got? And I'm like, well, far as you can walk and far as you can see, that's where you can go. Right. Is it public or private land? I go, it's private land. You can go there. They don't get it, because it's foreign, because if Maine basically, New Hampshire's the same way too. Maine and New Hampshire both are like that, but there's very few other places that are like that. Hey, Sal here. I want to talk to you about a new partnership we have with Yokohama Tires. And at Big Woods Bucks, we don't take our partnerships lightly. We focus on things that we can use and can believe in and trust. And I've been running a set of the Yokohama Geolander MTs for about a month now. And over the years, we've had a lot of trouble in the woods, with gravel roads, shale roads, and flat tires and stuff. And so I tried these tires out on a moose hunt, and they worked fabulous. I had no problems with them, and still testing them. But the thing I like, too, is I made a trip to New York, and they're for a mud tire, they're extremely quiet on the road. Probably the most quiet ones I've had for an aggressive tread tire. And so I'm going to keep at testing them here, but I think they're going to be the ticket. I've used dozens of different tires over the years, and these look like they're going to be the ticket. So anyways, the tires are made right here in the USA, down in Virginia, all the light tires, light truck and car tires. There's like 51 sizes available, and they also have a Geolander XAT as a new tire that it's a little less aggressive, like more of an all-season radial. So anyways, check out their website, Yokohama Tire, and see if it's something you can use.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And, of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Have we talked enough about land? Can we talk about hunting?
Yeah, well, I was going to mention that next. That you keep saying how smart Nate is, and I'm beginning to wonder now because he's invited you to go moose hunting with him.
Well, that's not exactly true.
Oh, you invited yourself?
It's pretty.
I kept the text messages just for proof.
I'm pretty persistent, so didn't really give him an option. But yeah, Nate drew a tag, Zone 1.
I drew Zone 4 in October, and I traded to Zone 1 in September.
Perfect.
Good trade.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to shoot one with your bow?
I'm going to try. Going to bring it. And
yeah, Lee calling for you?
Yep. Yeah. He'll call. I'll do some calling.
We'll call. Hey, Nate. Hey, Nate.
Yeah.
No, it's hey,
Nate.
Moosey.
Yeah.
Nate's smart. He's just bringing someone to lug it out for him.
Lug, yeah. There's another fellow joining us too.
Yep, a friend of mine who's in the military
Yeah.
together. We'll be
nice.
going up, and
He's the
having a
rifle.
good
He's
time.
the rifle guy.
Yep.
Nate's the bow guy.
Oh, you're going to try with the bow? Good.
Yep.
Excellent.
I've always wanted to kill one. Did years ago, Chuck had a client. Remember, we tried to kill one with a bow. You had a client that tried to kill one with a bow.
Oh, I've had quite a few over the years, and
Yeah.
usually by Tuesday or Wednesday they leave that home and take the rifle.
right.
Yeah, I did have one guy hold out till Friday one year.
Yeah.
He stuck one your hind quarter, 60-incher. We didn't get it. Several others he couldn't get close enough for a shot. And finally on Friday he gets in the truck with his rifle. He goes, "My wife wants me to shoot a moose." He said, I figured I better bring my rifle today. And he shot the moose. The moose he shot was one that we had seen on Monday or Tuesday, and I told him to shoot. It was like he told me he could shoot 45 yards, and back then that was like it. I know
yeah.
nowadays they shoot further than that, and I said it's 45, and he said 40, and I go, it's 40, and he goes, no, it's 45. He's like debating me on 5
Oh,
yards,
Jesus Christ.
so he didn't shoot. But anyways, he shot that bull on Friday morning. He shot the same bull like 2 miles away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. When someone brings a bow, it seems like it's tough to get one in. You know, you don't get that perfect scenario, but
Yeah.
I don't know how many I've seen where they kill them with a gun and it was a perfect bow shot, or
Yeah.
it was one that could
Yeah.
easily been.
Yeah. There's a big old square horned one down at the end of that road I was hunting 2 years ago.
Up zone 1.
Yeah. Big old. That thing comes right out and goes straight up like a box. He was a smasher. And then that Boone and Crockett that we missed. I didn't miss.
You taking Nate over that area?
Well,
Well, depends how much he butters you up, huh?
yep. How many cookies are you going to bring?
How many do you want?
Hey,
Yeah.
Any of that country's good.
Are you going up ahead of time to do some scouting?
Yeah, I'm going to go up the week before, work out of the Seven Islands remote camp, and then do some scouting in there at night.
I might be able to go up then, show you a couple spots, help you out.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate that.
Because I got some bear hunters next week, which is the first week, and then I'm skipping a week, and then I got bear hunters the third week, and then the week before the hunt, I'm taking that whole week to scout and get my camp set up. I'll be guiding a couple in zone 4 first season, and then I'll be up there the second season. So, yeah, I might we'll hook up there and take a ride up, and I'll show you a couple of spots, and I got a couple other spots I wanted to look at too. So,
Yep.
be fun.
you're going up you're taking off. You said the whole week you're going to be up there.
I'll be in the woods somewhere. This fall, I said, once bear season starts, I'm done pounding nails or anything else. I'm going to be in the woods all fall. I got stuff to do and things to see. So I'll be up there for most of the time scouting moose a week before the season. And then probably in between, I'll go up and set up for the second season. You know, probably I'll do my scouting that first week, and then the second week I'll go up and set up a few days ahead. And then after the second moose season, I'll be looking for deer. I got a couple of blinds to set up there. I went in this spring on my snow machine, like in April, when we got good going, and I cut some dead spruce poles here and there, and I'm going to I got one spot, I'm going to build a tree stand. I did that with my snow machine, so I didn't have to lug a chainsaw in or something, or cut everything with a little handsaw, but I cut some dead spruce poles, and I'm going to make a ladder, and I got like 3 trees together all picked out. I'm going to take some strapping and strap up some poles there and make a little makeshift tree stand overlooking a pretty good spot. And then there's a couple other places I went up in with my snowmobile, and I cut some. There was a couple dead logs I cut to make couple ground blinds too, in little spots, and then cleared out a couple little shooting lanes and never know, you might be in there sometime on bare ground and want to sit and eat a sandwich, you know.
I'm just getting this visual of you climbing up in a stand during deer season. I've never seen that before, Hal.
Well, it's not bad to have a little elevation point to eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
You're going through a lot of trouble for a sandwich eating spot.
Yeah, I don't use, I mean, I wouldn't. The only reason I'm gonna get up in that tree, it's a spot. It's like an old winter road, and the raspberries are like up to your neck in there. You can't see anything, and there's a wood yard at the end of it. The same way it was cut probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. So the regeneration's coming up, and it's pretty flat. There's no other place to get where you can kind of overlook it, So I figured if I get up in a tree stand about 10 feet, at least I'll be able to see a little bit better.
Did Hal Blood just say he was going to get in a tree stand? I'm sorry, I was texting. Wait a minute. Let's
you missed the
back
whole. I noticed you weren't
Let's
paying any
back
attention
up.
when he was talking
Lee.
about that.
To eat a sandwich.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how it starts.
Yeah. I might have a hunter that wants to set around a little bit,
Well, you got to have a spot for your grandson too.
I wonder
right?
if that's how it starts. So, guy sets up a tree stand, and now there's an excuse. Well, I'm just going to set up a spot to eat a sandwich.
Yeah. Ain't much chance of me sitting around very long.
No.
Once in a while I have, like, if I'm doing a little calling or rattling with a rattling bag, if some days it's bare ground and the leaves are crunchy, I ain't opposed to sitting around for an hour and doing something like that,
You know what I haven't done in a while is bow hunt. I haven't bow hunted since I met you, I don't think. But
Well, you smartened up.
yeah, but early season, that would be, I think, if you had time, that would be fun. Getting a tree.
There's one problem with it. Is once you're done, you're done. Unless you're down and expanded.
Yeah. You shoot
Right.
your
That's
deer,
why I don't.
shoot
you
one
know.
with a bow and you can't go tracking. So what the hell's the sense of that?
Well, there's New Hampshire, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
I enjoy bow hunting, but it's just up here.
Right.
You shoot when you're done. What are you going to do with the rest of the month?
Work.
Yeah.
Build your honey or house.
I got a house to build.
Yeah.
So Hal and I had a conversation on the way over about bird season this year. And I just looked it up, Hal.
Yeah.
September 26th.
Saturday it opens.
Does it?
It's
See, I
gonna
knew
be
they changed it, but I thought they made it the last Monday in September, but evidently they made it the last Saturday in September.
Last weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's permanent now,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, they made that. So
It's going to be busy up in the Northwoods.
Yes.
I think busier
Eat
than we've ever
partridge all
seen
week.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Nate would be calling in a moose, and I'll shoot a bird. Oh, don't worry, Nate. There'll be another one.
Yeah, there's going to be some people roaming around up there. Did you see the notice from that North Maine Wood put out?
yeah,
Basically just talking about that and all the traffic and everything.
yeah,
It is always funny. I mean, typically during moose season with the number of permits, you look at those numbers and you think it's just going to be covered up with people, and you really rarely see
Yeah.
Anybody, right?
too many people out there.
yeah. You around the popular campsites, there's always a bunch of people hanging around there. And then during that time frame too, they know there isn't enough regular campsites, so they allow you to set up in a gravel pit or something because there just ain't enough regular campsites for all the people during moose season. So
How are your bear baits doing?
many bear. I can't lug enough bait. I knew it was going to be one of them years, but there's just not much for natural food, so they're coming to the baits pretty good. Got some big bears coming, and
Maybe I'll come up and shoot one. I haven't shot a bear in 7 years, 8 years.
yeah. Is that the one you erased the tape on, Lee?
Yeah.
We've heard that story.
He went 383. That was the second biggest one.
Yeah. So funny when I always mention the bears are coming good. Everybody, all my friends are like, "Oh, maybe I'll shoot a bear this
Right.
year." Yeah, I had several of them already. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Lee Shands is another one. Well, Lee's got his moose permit, so he can get that Grand Slam there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He's got. I think you give it to the good Lee. I
Yeah.
wouldn't let bad Lee come up there.
well, I've let Bad Lee before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Badly's fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let Bad Lee in remote camp shoot a moose.
Yeah.
You got to be careful around Hal during baiting season too. I made the mistake of reaching behind the seat in the truck, and I pulled out what looked like a fresh box of donuts, and I offered Hal one. No, I'm good. I opened it up and took one bite. It was like biting into a rock. I said, "This is terrible." He goes, "Yeah, it's bear bait." Thanks, Hal.
Yeah, you can't get nothing from that.
No,
there's so many
it's
preservatives and then sugar and that stuff.
I haven't run one with dogs in a long time either, and that was always fun.
Yeah, this will be a year they get some big ones with dogs because they're coming to the baits more too. You know.
I always thought that was wicked fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. That's another contentious debate.
I know, but it's
I love it. I love hound hunting.
people debate eating meat for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
If you want to eat your grass, eat your grass. I'm gonna have a steak.
Hey, we're eating the grass too, and we're eating the meat because
That's right.
the animals have eaten some of that grass.
Yeah.
And if they didn't eat it, they eat other animals that ate grass.
Right. So I tell the vegetarians, I eat healthy because I want to keep my figure up. Well, cows eat grass, and they're round.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Pretty good argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had 41 degrees at the house this morning. That's the coldest I've seen it after we had this hot summer. What was it over here in Rangeley this morning?
About that, 40,
39 is what I had.
39
Did you
at
have
the house.
39? Nice.
Oh, I love it. Nate's one up in Hal.
Yeah. Now, you must
Felt
live at
like
a higher elevation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple miles out of town,
Yeah.
a couple 100 feet higher.
They're saying 70s
the
again
same
next
as me.
week. I see what was it? Wednesday, Thursday next week, 71.
Next week, my highs are going to be in the low 50s.
Yeah, highs back in the 60s at night. So
Where you going again, Joe?
I'm going to Key West
Key West, yeah.
or Alaska.
Yeah.
that's the trip me and Hal didn't get invited. on.
Right.
That's right.
I don't know how this relationship is going to work.
I invited.
I really don't. I just don't see it going anywhere.
You going to do the old "it's not you, it's me" on me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I invited Hal. I just didn't invite you, Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't remember that invite.
No.
Yeah. I thought it might slip over. I thought maybe.
Yeah. I think
you'd
that was
forget.
after the fact. When I think the invite was, well, I think I'd let you go, but I already got a buddy going.
Dalty's been promising us a hunt for years for Big Woods. Oh, just one more podcast, Liv. One more podcast.
He didn't tell you.
any way you want to go.
He didn't tell you that Big Woods was paying for my trip.
Yeah.
Don't start
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're leaving. We're leaving on Tuesday next week. Tuesday or Wednesday.
For how long?
2.5 weeks.
Nice.
Coming back the 17th. So yeah, out on the.
You got a camera guy?
Yeah, my buddy Chris, and I'm his.
His buddy, see?
Yeah.
His buddy.
That's right.
Oh,
Buddy Chris.
Yeah, my real friend's going with me.
yeah. I've never had him say, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" So
That's a two-way street, Lee. But yeah, no, we're.
well, I wish you all the luck. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know you just like busting balls.
And there's no pressure to kill one either, right, Lee?
I can't imagine
No.
coming back without one.
Yeah. Yeah, the big moose guy.
That'd be the new.
Yeah.
That would be the new introduction to all the podcasts.
Yeah.
Well,
Here with
could
my,
happen.
My moose missing buddy Joe Cruz. And
Yeah. Oh no, it'll be an adventure either way. I think
what are you taking for a gun?
taking a 338 Win Mag and a 450 Marlin.
Nice.
Yeah,
That ought to do
and a
it.
couple handguns. Yeah.
He's going loaded for bear, ain't he?
Yeah. What can you shoot while you're there?
I'm gonna buy a moose tag and a wolf tag.
Nice.
We can shoot black bears, but I have no interest in that out there. Something we can. I was going to say something we can do here, but we can do moose here too. It's just
You know.
just a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, for grizzly and sheep and all that stuff, you got to have a guide or got to be a resident.
Yeah.
So those are out. I think there's like wolverines and stuff like that, but a wolf and a moose is what I'd be interested in.
Well, did I just hear the Wolverines came back to the Rainier National Forest, Mount Rainier? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I just heard a blurb of that this morning.
Yeah, probably come down the Rocky Mountains there.
Yeah.
That's where they live.
First time in 100 years they've seen a Wolverine on that in that park. That's cool.
You
Yeah.
think someone jumped up and yelled, Wolverines?
Hey, hey, you know what's interesting about that, Lee?
What's that?
See, all the biologists worrying about global warming, telling us all the animals are moving north.
Yeah.
Well, they had to move. That Wolverine had to move south to get there.
Yeah. Well, they ain't got to worry about it because the fur market is about as low as I've ever seen
Yeah.
it.
Is it
A
really?
beaver, $14 or something. Ain't
Yeah.
worth it.
Hey, I wouldn't skin one for $14.
No.
You ever skin a beaver, Lee?
You.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I tried one.
Remember that
once.
big one I pulled out of Little Gulf that year? You were so mad.
No, I wasn't mad, Lee.
No.
He's over. I don't know if you heard that, Nate, but he's over. He's got the clients out guiding deer hunters, and he's trapping beaver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Why would you get upset about that, Hal?
can't imagine.
They couldn't walk no more. They're like, we can't go anymore. So grab a chair. I'll set you on a deer crossing. You'll shoot one at 9:30.
Yeah.
I was wrong. It was 9:32 when he killed his 10-pointer.
So
And
I
Hal was so mad.
call Lee on the radio. Go, hey, you got your clients up here. Has got a buck down. Really? I go, yeah. Where are you? And he wouldn't tell me. Yeah, I'll be out in a little bit. Yeah.
I'm knee deep in a beaver flow. It's with one of the biggest beavers I've ever seen in a 330. Going that deer's not going anywhere. That's not the
nice.
whole story.
Yeah, pretty close though. So
I got an
Nate-
idea he really was upset with you that day.
He was so mad.
So
Truth be known, the client had a radio.
What?
And he dropped the radio in the water when he stood up to shoot the deer. Because I said, call me. And I was doing landowner relations with a forester in the beaver flow. That's a true story. That's a true story. And I heard the gunshot, but it sounded a little far off. So I headed in that direction. And then Hal came screaming out of the woods, very upset, and called me on the radio. So I went up there and, yep.
What's it like having an irresponsible kid working for you?
I don't know, but he was the first one to say, Lib, take a picture of me and the client. I'm like, what about me? The hell with you. I'm getting my
Take
picture
a
taken.
take a picture with your beaver.
It was a good picture. I have a picture of that 10-pointer with a truckload of beaver and a gore. That was fun.
Hey everyone, Hal here. Just wanted to take a minute to talk about the Woodman Arms muzzleloader. We got them all set on the website to build your own and or buy your Big Woods Bucks model, either one you want to do. But anyways, we've tested it a lot, and I can honestly say it's the most accurate muzzleloader on the market, best to carry in the Big Woods or anywhere else at 5.5 pounds. You can't go wrong with it. So get on there and check it out. Hey, Hal here. Just want to take a minute to talk about the hunting club. And you can join by going right online at bigwoodsbucks.com. But anyways, I've got all my information is going in there, and it's a place where you can get together and look at my films, tips, writings, and all of that. And the best part is there's forums for you to communicate with, the rest of the club members, talk about Big Woods stuff and all of that. So anyways, $36 a year, cheaper than getting a Starbucks once a day. So join up and hope you see you on there.
So, Nate, you already know you've got to have a supply of Tito's and cranberry juice, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got that all figured in on
Yep.
your list,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
I think I shared that list with you, and right
I
in there
wish-
was adult beverages.
I get these text messages with these bottles of Tito's. I wish I drank as much as people think I do. Oh, shit.
What are you having for lunch today, Lee?
Oh, ginger ale. No, we got to figure out what the specials are. Probably a pastrami sandwich. Nate, you want to come back and join us for lunch, or you got to go in the woods?
I got to go in the woods.
All right.
Work on this inventory
So
project.
Nate was going to take us on a little tour, but I'd like to do that another time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can show us all the good
Show
deer
you
hunting
different
spots.
management.
Yeah.
What's that brook we got to go deer hunt at? Porter Brook?
Yeah, Porter.
Portage.
Down
Portage.
Porter, Maine.
Yeah.
First stoplight in the Rangeley region's going up there.
Yeah.
Portage Brook. I have no idea where this Portage Brook is, but if it's even halfway of a decent hunting area, I can only imagine how pissed off the guys are.
No,
to hunt
you know
there.
what it is it just over the last couple of years it's just been absolutely pounded. But for anybody who knows, it's actually a natural travel way for the deer to come to yard, down through there. And in the last few years, they've cut it pretty hard and punched some roads in where there wasn't roads before. So it's pretty easy to get back there. And you know it well as I do, if they can drive to it, they're going to it. And last year there was some fellas, which are friends of mine, and they'll know who they are when they hear this, but they would leave at 2:30 in the morning, go out there and park on a deer track and wait for daylight. And I just thought that was the funniest thing in the whole world. Didn't make sense to me, but to them it made perfect sense. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it gets quite a bit of traffic.
You first started mentioning it, and I sent you a text message. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm going to have to wear a bulletproof vest to work. You said, there's no deer out there. I said, yeah, but I still have to go work out there.
But they did take, they had to have taken 5 or 6 bucks out of that one little valley. And there's that stretch of road. I mean, it's a long road, but there's one stretch 4 or 5 miles there that was pretty active with bucks last year. And I don't think there's one left. I know that for sure. But other than that,
That's the thing when you kill a bunch of them bucks on them migration routes there and stuff. That's bucks that came from who knows where,
Yeah.
But yeah. So anybody listening, if you're coming to Rangeley to hunt, probably it ain't going to be a very good place to go at the Portage Brook. You'll have company.
There's some fellas from Vermont out there. They'll know who they are when I say that. They're good. They'll give you a ride back to your truck, even if you cut them off. Yep.
Yep.
They're good about it.
That's good.
Remember a couple of years ago, I think it was like Halloween when there was an early start, and I was following this truck all the way up to go do some layout for my winter harvest block, and it turns right onto another unnamed road, and then it goes to the end, and out steps Lee. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to work with my rifle. I went up high on the mountain. I think he went down low. You had a cameraman that time.
Who'd I have? Was that the year? Was that Brent? The year we filmed that one? No.
Must have been Johnny.
Probably Johnny. Yep. Johnny was off and on. I fired him every other day. Yep. Yeah. You got some good footage, but that was about it. I need a cameraman for this year.
Yeah. Got to talk to Woody about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in charge of that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he's got to have something to do now that Liz took over most of his duties now, so he sets around.
I honestly don't know how he did it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how, because I see the time that goes into
What she does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's especially this time of year. I mean, he would have been covered up, because everyone's starting to get geared up.
Well, that's why he hasn't dared to leave the last couple of years, and that most of the problems crop up with people wanting to know where their clothes are and all this stuff right around deer season, So he's never wanted to leave because he wanted the customer service. But now that Liz is at the helm, he don't have to worry about it. So he claims he's going hunting this year.
The UPS guy showed up the other day with 7 of these big boxes, and I'm like, what the heck is in there? Gloves. So we've got a lot of gloves.
We got
we've got wool now.
Yeah,
we got our new wool dot gloves. I got to order them up. I think we got how many pairs we get? 500.
Over 500
You
pairs.
didn't
Yeah,
bring me
so
a couple pairs?
500
No.
and something pairs.
no, you call and order them just like everyone else.
Yeah.
We'll give you a 3% discount.
What did I hear
for your
yesterday?
efforts.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
And you're crushing my dreams.
So order them gloves up if you want them. I know there's been a bunch of people ask me about them. I told them we'd have them before deer season. So
Now we got them.
there they are.
Yeah,
Get
and anyone that's interested in getting their silent predator, you want to be ordering it now because they are 4 to 6 weeks, and
they're backed up because they're still trying to get straightened out from when they shut down for the COVID stuff. So they have a little lag time. So if you're thinking about buying your Big Woods woolies, get them ordered up pretty quick here.
it is a bit frustrating when you have people that want everything, and we have no control over it. The companies are going as hard as they can, and it's kind of the same thing with the Remington situation. For everyone that's still waiting on their gun, I am too, and it's a bit frustrating. That you're dealing with a big company like Remington, and it's not like you just ring them up and say, "Hey, where's the guns?" Yeah,
we did finally get those stock bearing plates ironed out, and everybody's got those. So everybody that's got their guns ready to roll with them.
What about the Yokohama tires?
Well, we're in negotiations, I guess, for what I hear from Chris. So
I'm running bologna skins right now.
Well, you hang right on.
I do, to the steering wheel every time I take off.
But hey, Lee, I will say that the ones that we do have are wearing great. I love my Yokohama tires.
Yeah.
Hal, could we talk a little bit about the youth writing contest?
Oh, yeah. Yep. So anyways, John Fennelson he's from Maine originally. He lives out in Wyoming now. He runs he runs a mill out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, he's one of the head honchos there anyways, but he started a gun shop on the side. It's Bear Lodge Firearms. And he's donated a Marlin 795 semi-automatic 22 to Big Woods to do something with the youth with. So I had just posted it I think 2 nights ago on Facebook. So anybody out there listening, and you kids, parents, it's for kids 14 and under. I was going to go with 12, but 14 and under. It's a writing contest. So any hunt the kids do this fall, they can submit a story with a photo of their hunt, and we'll have John judge those, and the winner will win the 22 Marlin.
Nice.
So that was nice of John to donate that. And,
you got a couple of kids that can enter, can't you?
Yeah.
Nate? Yeah.
I think a 1-year-old's probably a little too early to be writing, but
yeah,
I can write.
You could help him
I
out.
can write like a 12-year-old.
the 5-year-old, she'll probably do pretty good.
He's going to do the story for him.
Yeah, I can write like a 12-year-old.
We'll give him a box of crayons.
Yeah, so anyways, that's a shout out to John for generosity there. And if
that was the beef jerky source too, right?
That's right.
Oh, my God, John. Good job on the jerky. Send more.
Hey, if anybody wants to send us beef jerky, we'll have a jerky contest.
We'll have a jerk off.
Oh, I think it's time to wrap this up.
That's a great idea.
Oh, any other housekeeping there, Joe? Oh yeah, you gotta talk about the like us on Facebook. No,
You're doing a great job at it.
follow
I
us.
just want to give a shout out to Onyx this week because I was lost in the woods last Thursday and I was too cheap to do my upgrade, so I called Big Woods and they pulled off a Hail Mary at Friday night there and got me turned back on, and I came out of the woods
All right,
miraculously.
Yeah.
good job.
I use my Onyx so often, and it's usually probably more often not even related to hunting.
No.
But just measuring landing areas, measuring distances.
Yep.
The line distance feature is
Awesome.
I mean, I used it for sighting in a gun the other day. Checking yardage. Don't need a rangefinder. Just pull that out and walk.
Yep.
And
Never thought of that. That's pretty cool.
it works well. Yeah, it's so it's not, the whole Onyx thing is not just for being in the woods. I mean, there's a lot of good features on there you can use.
So now when you see a buck this fall, you're going to get your Onyx out.
Oh yeah,
Figure out
measure
how far
it right
away
up.
he is.
Yeah, got to do that.
Yep. Cool.
The first challenge is just seeing the buck, Hal.
Yeah, will be for you. Huh?
It's been rough.
He can hear now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Hearing aids.
I'll have a full. I got my new hearing aids, so I'm going to have a full review when I get back from Alaska. Because honestly, even though it seems a lot better out here in everyday use, until I hear a bull grunt, I'm not going to be excited about it.
Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, check us out. If you're on YouTube and watching some of the videos, hit the subscribe button and join in and
Ding the bell.
ding the bell.
Yeah. Notifications.
That's right.
All right. Well, good having you on, Nate.
Yep. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
It was fun.
Informing everybody about the big woods.
We got some more cool local guys over here in Rangeley I want to get on, too. We got
Oh, yeah?
Scott Stevens, one of the local wardens, wants to get on.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be on this, huh?
Well,
I think they just want to be with you, Lee.
no, I think it's Cruzy. They all want to get to know Cruzy.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
I see you
not
got
what
an
it
Onyx. I just did an Onyx commercial, and you got the freaking hat.
Go.
Bring me one of those, Joe?
They were at our Big Woods get together. They had all the stuff. They didn't get one.
No,
No, he just gets mad because he's got
that's
his
your
head up his
fault,
butt
then.
all the time.
no.
See
yeah.
my sweatshirt? I got my Onyx sweatshirt on.
Yeah, don't have one of
See
them
this
either.
here? I got the new Big
Yeah.
Woods hoodie.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you wearing, Lee?
You see where I rate, Nate, right? Yeah.
Well, you weren't even on time this morning. You make us wait out front like a
You
bunch of
said 8
vagrants.
o'clock because you ain't smart enough to walk around the building and realize the door's unlocked. Somebody's been here since 5. Stand out there on Main Street. 30 people have already called me and said, Hal's in town, Hal's in town. No
Yeah,
shit.
I know. We went to the restaurant
Who's
last
the crazy
week, and you
looking
can't even
guy,
get out
Ron?
to the truck.
I
took your clinic 18 years ago.
I got to start coming over in Deb's car. They won't recognize it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, either that or they'll think I'm the Big Woods gal. That's what she's got on her plate there. BWB gal.
Oh, shit.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, good luck on the trail.
Send some more jerky, John.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.